Hello, buddy. I'm Sammy from Tattoo Anyone, and today we're covering how to talk to a girl or a woman on a first date. Now, the problem that many men have, and that I see in many men that I know, is that they're too much in their head about it, and they've already built up a huge dream world in their head before they go on a date with a girl. That's usually because they are in love for half a year before they even ask her out, which is not necessarily ideal. So what you want to do to prepare for your date is make sure you're not too emotionally invested in this relationship at this point, at the point of your first date, because you have no right to be. She said, yes, you talked to her, you did well, you asked her to go on a date. Great, you are doing better than most. But that doesn't mean that she owes you anything or that she has to marry you or anything. Like, just chill out is what I have to say to a lot of guys. Chill out. It's just a first date. And yes, some women have high expectations when it comes to first dates. But if she's only going to stick with you, if the first date is perfect, right? If you're taking her to Paris, you're flying her out to Paris, and then, you rent out the whole restaurant and you big flower bouquet, then you're basically on the cusp of not making the cut, right? And you don't want to be in that situation. You want to be in a situation where you can just be yourself and you can just not pretend and maybe even talk about, some stuff that you're interested in and she's not, and she's okay with that. Because on the other hand, if you're in that place where you just have to perform 100% every single date and else she dumps you, that's not the kind of woman you want to be with, because that's not going to stop, right? You barely making the cut. Even when you're in a relationship at that point, you're this much away from her ending it, right? And moving on and finding someone better. You don't want to be in that situation. So first of all, check your emotions. Make sure you're not too emotionally invested in this thing, and be okay with the worst outcome. Imagine the worst outcome that could happen, and be okay with that, because that is a possibility. It could go very badly, and that is okay. Okay, you're able to talk to girls, you're able to get a new date. It's not a problem. It will also help you to not seem desperate. Okay, that's very important. Women do not like it when men are desperate. Most of them, anyways, don't like it. That's not the way a man's supposed to be. Not desperate, but confident. And if you're okay with the worst outcome and you're just going in there, whatever, let's just see what happens, right? That's confidence. And generally, women like confidence more than being desperate and clingy and all that kind of stuff. So if you're thinking, oh, I want to marry her, I love her so much on the first date already, you need to change something about that. You need to change something. Maybe just, not talk to her, not write with her for a few weeks. And then once your emotions have settled down, maybe talk to some other girls. And then once you don't care that much, go back and do that date, right? Maybe just postpone it for a little bit. So let's just go on Talk to Anyone to the tool that helps you to talk to girls on dates, and especially first dates. So the eye contact, that's obvious. You don't need that. You've already asked her out, so you're aware of that. So there's a bunch of things that you could talk about. But here's some general rules that I have. So you want to make sure that the conversation is mostly about her. I would say maybe 70-60% about her, and you're only talking for maybe 30% or 40% max as a man, okay? So you want this to be a give and take, but mostly as a man, you're expected to give more than to take. So make it about her. Figure out what she likes, what are her passions, and try to talk about that. It's not all about you, okay? Make sure to just listen to her. There's a great book. There's a quote from a great book. It says, "From the fullness of the heart, the mouth speaks." So that means the thing that fills your heart is going to come out of the mouth automatically. So you can actually just evaluate what she cares about by listening to her words and seeing what automatically comes out of her words. What topics does she gravitate towards? Maybe if her heart is filled with just trying to enjoy life, she will talk about holidays and experience beautiful ones that she has had, and things that she's bought that made her happy. You can see what someone cares about by simply listening to what automatically comes out of their mouth when you're not leading them on, when you're just letting them talk. And then you can, first of all, see whether that matches what's important to you in your life. And second of all, you can then talk about that, the things that she cares about. And that will help you along in establishing a relationship. So let's go into some practical stuff that you could ask on a first date. So you have a very relaxed energy. Do you get that a lot? Right? Just make an observation about her. Show that you care, that you are trying to understand her, that you're trying to see who she actually is, and try to make it positive. Don't notice negative things. Try to notice positive things. Um, Most random fact no, that's not a very good one. You strike me as someone who secretly loves board games. Am I close? Yeah, make observations, make guesses, and then let her talk about it and see what happens. Okay, I have to ask, how are you actually this put together on a weeknight? Or hey, I have to ask, how the hell are you single? That's a very front-handed compliment, for example, that you could also use. You have a very interesting laugh. Where's that from? Okay, if some people love cute or interesting in interesting ways. I can make a wild guess about your job. You have that architect vibe going on. Oh yeah, that is also a backhanded compliment. Hey, you strike me as someone extremely intelligent. Did you study medicine by any chance? And then she can talk about her job situation, her education situation, and you can go from there. Let's go into some more conversation starters. Do you like wine, or are you pretending to enjoy it like the rest of us? Yeah, that's also a good one. My wife actually likes wine, but she's not allowed to drink it for religious reasons, which is actually kind of funny. I hate it. I hate all the alcohol, but I do like what it does to people. It is very helpful. Oh yeah, don't use alcohol as a crutch. If you're not comfortable, alcohol, yes, it takes away the anxiety and stuff, but it's also going to make you stupid. So please try to not rely on that. Just learn talking to people more, do it more, you'll get more comfortable without having to resort to drugs. I was guessing what your go-to comfort food might be. I'm thinking lasagna, yeah, or pizza is always a good bet. All right, what's the most random fact about you that people would never guess? That's also, I actually kind of like this one, because there's just some weird stuff, that you would never think about a person that they can tell you about themselves. You have this very calm presence. I feel like you're secretly into meditation or something. Yeah, that's also a good one. What made you swipe right on What made you swipe right on me? Brutally honest. So, yeah, online dating is a reality. I always recommend people to not do it, because generally speaking, the competition is extreme on online dating apps. And in the real world, if you're actually able to talk to people, which is what we try to teach people here on this YouTube channel and on talktoanyone.com, your competition is going to be significantly lower, your chances are going to be better, and also people can't be fake in real life, neither you nor her. So if you're pretty good, right, it helps, because in the real world there is no filter. You're not competing with fake people, basically. So what most people will do on dating apps, women and men, they're gonna use the standard filter from their phone, the beauty filter. They're gonna use Photoshop. These days they're gonna use AI to improve their photos and just put their face on a supermodel. They're gonna rent cars and pose next to them, or they're gonna find someone else's car and pose next to that. And it's just, you're competing with a lot of fake people, and you're competing with a lot of people. Like, back in my day, the people you knew were the people you were around, right? From your town, and you were competing with men and women from that town. And today, with the dating apps, you're competing with people that are hundreds of miles away, or thousands of miles away, or even on the other side of the earth entirely. So my recommendation to increase your chances of getting more first dates is to just learn talking to people, approach women in the real world where your chances are better, and it's also gonna make the dates easier, right? Having social skills is always a plus, no matter what you're doing in your job or dating or approaching everything. It's going to help you in every way, everywhere. So if you want to learn how to talk to people better and approach women and talk to women on dates and other situations, head over to talktoanyone.com. The instructions are going to be here. Just Google Talk to Anyone. You're going to be able to learn a bunch of good conversation starters, questions to ask, and it's also going to guide you through the process, you know, making eye contact first and just initiating the conversation with an interesting question about her or the situation. And it's basically the same thing you do on a date as well, right? You scan her up and down and, wow, I like your dress. You know, where did you get it? Is that new? Did you buy that just for this date? I feel flattered, right? And yeah, that's basically how it works. Anyways, guys, that's it for talking on a first date. It's mostly about the preparation, about making sure your emotions and your expectations are in the right place, which means having no emotions because you're not in a relationship yet. You can have emotions when she has emotions, okay? When she's vulnerable, you can be vulnerable. Before that, it's a bad idea. Your expectations have to be at the right place, which means none, ideally, no expectations. Expect the worst, and then you will never be disappointed. I know it's not easy. I know that's not how men work by default. I know men tend to, you know, already have plans for weddings and stuff and their life together before they've even talked to a woman. But that just makes it very difficult for you because she can basically kill you with one single word at that point because you're already so emotionally invested that even the slightest sign of not liking you as much as you imagine her to like you is going to kill you. And that's just going to be like having a loaded gun to your head while you're on a date, which is not going to help you. It's going to make you very scared, afraid. It's going to lead to awkward moments. It's going to lead to bad situations for both of you. Anyways, guys, that's it. Give the video a like if you've learned anything. Subscribe if you want more content like this. And if you have any good or bad stories about first dates, leave them down in the description. If you want to add some more good lines to our tool at talktoanyone.com, leave them also down below. If you have some good conversation starters and questions to ask on a date, please leave them and share them with the community. Thanks you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.